Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, this evening to the Rocket League FACEIT Collegiate Spring Showdown. I'm excited for this one, but are you as excited as me, Ejam? We're going to have an excite-off about this one because we've got some crazy games coming up this evening. How are you actually doing?
Doing great, and you are right. We do have some amazing games coming up. In particular, our last match on stream today is the
True.
big one to be looking out for: the Kiel Krakens against, and I've gone blank already. Ramon High, there we go. Amsterdam. Local Banana up against K3. What a matchup that is going to be later on today. Of course, I am sad that my beloved UEA has been knocked out. However, that doesn't really matter. I could use millions of excuses like, oh, they don't have the full roster. Oh, Queen Scott should have never left. I could say a million things, but unfortunately, they're not
Okay,
here.
I mean, Queen Scott should never leaving is something that I think everyone agrees with when it comes to UBA until they reach the highs of the likes of Summer. But I mean, Ekla, I like to call him Emac. I mean, he's certainly improving, but it wasn't enough for them to take down Kiel in the round of 16. The games we're going to have on stream today are all going to be the 4 quarterfinals. They're all best of fives and they're all money matches because if you get to the semi-finals, that's a minimum of $400 a team you're going to be winning. Winner of it all, of course, will be found out tomorrow. $1,200. Now that is not bad if you ask me, is it?
That's an incredible prize pool for something that I think has fallen under the radar so well. I'm not like, obviously people know about the tournament, but to think about that amount of money is available, a lot of teams that might have been a little bit lazy in signing up to things, they're missing out on this massive opportunity because it's a decent amount of money for the competition that's in it as well. It wouldn't be as stacked as other tournaments that we've seen, but there's still some very good teams in here, and you have to give a credit to the teams that have shown up, the teams that have been putting in the hours of practice together. And of course, there's a lot of unknown teams in this as well that we've starting to see, and we're starting to be like, okay, these have potential further down the line. They're already doing well against the likes of Portsmouth, against the like of Kiel, teams that, you know, we need to keep an eye out on. And then going forward, you know, people might be looking at these teams like, you know, they've never played in any serious EU tourneys before, we don't need to worry about them. Next thing you know, they're whipping out some insane strats. They know exactly how to communicate, how to rotate, and it could catch other teams off guard. So a lot of teams in this, I think this tournament's going to benefit them well, and obviously taking home that $1,200 is going to be quite nice for anyone. But even just $400 for making it the top 4, to think that the 4 games we're going to show you on stream today, every single game is for $400, that's insane. You know, that's like 1,600 prize pool money going out within these 4 matches, which is pretty, you know, pretty serious cash.
Pretty stacked. Like it is. Like it escalates so quickly almost. It's so exciting. The stakes so large. You're right in highlighting the diversity of universities we've got here. I really want to know what universities there are because we have 3 Croatian teams in the bracket, and I feel bad for not being familiar with them. Of course, TVZ are waiting for the result of Aarhus out of Denmark against OVGU from Germany. One of them we'll get to see against TVZ, and I'm excited that our first game on stream that's pretty much ready to go is going to be FER, I'm going to assume that's just FER, against Portsmouth. We're very, very familiar with the Portsmouth Paladins, but when it comes to FER or FER, I don't know. They 3-1'd Zephyr Fenrir, so clearly they're good enough to beat some of the competition out here, but I mean, I'm assuming you've got no idea how good they are either, right, Ejao?
I don't, and even looking at the names here, they're not names I recognize. I'm actually really not looking forward to trying to pronounce Seskasina. I've no idea how to pronounce the name of one of their players as well, which I always feel awful for. We have confirmation from the players that's just Fur. That's how you pronounce it. As for the player's name, trying to learn how to pronounce that, that's going to be a whole different ball games. Fair.
Familiar.
Fair.
Zuki Kuro is a player who's been around for some time, but again, I'm no closer to knowing which actual university it is they're studying at in Croatia. So I guess we'll have to try and find that out by the end of tomorrow, and I'm sure they'll be making a name for themselves. Of course, straight away, you highlighted our final matchup of the stream this evening. It's going to be a very heavy-hitting one. Kiel, having knocked out UEA, will be playing against Raymond High. That's Amsterdam. And yeah, that is those are 2 certain favorites. The winner of that matchup you could see going all the way to the grand finals, but they're likely have to play, you know, I'm thinking it'd be Durham in the semi-finals, but we'll also find out if it will be. And Durham can have a difficult series against seemingly anyone. And one of our matchups today is them going to be going up against Vibersity Challenge. That's the Southampton side. On paper, you know, the Southampton B team, and I think that's fair to say. They won't mind me saying that they know the A team of the likes of Jim Jammy, absolute chads in fairness to them. But Viburnity Challenge, they've been certainly making the rounds, and I could still see them challenging Durham.
Yeah, Durham were in a show match on Wednesday, I believe, and assuming it is the same team, they did struggle in that show match a lot, because I've seen Durham play extremely well, and what I saw on Wednesday was not them playing extremely well at all.
Yeah, was it the one against BCU?
BCU, yeah, they were just
Yeah, they got
completely outclassed by Eton altogether. No, I didn't know Eton going into that game, and in fairness, I was very impressed with how Birmingham City University played. However, the one thing that Durham can definitely improve on is stop going for solo plays, because they scored two very simple infield passes and they found their way to the back of the net. And they did that twice, it worked twice, and then after that they just went for solo plays the whole time. And it was something that I was a bit confused about, because we know the quality of that team. However, it was just a case of, well, are they trying something different? Are they just trying to go for the solo carry playstyle just on a show match? They don't really care. Whatever they went for, it didn't work. They were outclassed, but they're still a very, very solid team.
I feel like as part of me, the worries for Durham, and then I realised that that's just normal for them. They will lose to anyone. They will beat pretty much anyone within a far larger variation than any other normal team. But I think it's almost exciting for BCU, right? Like, they made the playoffs last split in the UK, and they're really looking to build on that and sort of build up their repute of results, because it's kind of a fresh-faced roster. Sure, you still got Magic, the sort of backbone of the team, but you're right to highlight Ethan and Azavals as well, really sort of revitalizing that roster. But I would love to. You see, we talk about these teams, and I'd love to be able to talk about the Croatian teams more. But this is the first time we're really going to be seeing them. And you're right. I mean, they're in the lobby. We are waiting. I can say for Portsmouth, like, guys, what's going on? Clearly terrified. But yeah, in terms of attempting the name, I think I'm going to go with Ubis or Ubis. Ubis probably smoother. Zuki, obviously, we know Zuki Crow. And then, yeah, that's a lot of notations on the C's and S's of China. Like, I don't speak Croatian, so I think we might need some help from chat. Do you speak Croatian?
Sebo, that's what we were told to say.
It is Sebo, you're right, on the roster.
On the roster.
So we can cheat.
I like these Croatians.
I'd like to be able to get the name right. I'm probably gonna Google it, which is a good timing, because now is the time where Portsmouth choose to join the lobby. As we do have our first series of the day getting underway here. I'm consulting Google eJam. You take this one away. We have game one in our first quarter final here, and I'm excited for it.
I'm excited as well. And obviously, while you're doing a bit of research there, let's just talk about how good this Portsmouth side are. They've always been so consistent for so long. People would consider Psycho to be, I mean, you can disagree with me here. I'd put them as a top 3 UK player. So goddamn reliable, so goddamn mechanical, and looking to get the opening goal here, only it is saved out in the end. But I think Portsmouth certainly heavy favourites in this matchup. However, one thing that we don't know is just how good these Croatians actually are. If they do come out here and beat Portsmouth, that would be an absolutely massive statement to make, and they will definitely put Croatia on the map as a team to fear going forward in future European university competitions. So it's hard to tell if they'd be able to live up for the task. But for now, no goals are coming in. And, that's important for them. Portsmouth, we'll see just exactly when will they try to turn it on. When will they start trying to their fullest potential? If they leave it too late, they could get caught out. Now, it is a best of 5. It's not like they'll be punished for throwing one game. But you do not want to be giving this Croatian team confidence at all. You do not want to be playing on the back foot. But the first minute's passed. It is 0-0. The game's fairly back and forward at the moment. But each team, they have one shot registered on target.
Yeah, I'm honestly pretty impressed so far by the Croatians here. I am indeed going to have to forfeit and just say Sebo. I got no help from Google in terms of pronunciation. Portsmouth, we are expected to still be favourites, but a lot of the time, we worry coming into matchups like this that it might end up just being a complete blowout. And I'm sure Portsmouth still feel comfortable for now, but all it takes is one goal against the run of play, and that could go out the window very quickly. And yeah, you see Ubis here looking to aggress in the corner, but you can see the time and respect they are still giving the Paladins here.
Yeah, and TUD were sort of doing this on Wednesday where
Oh,
they were. Well, never mind. Brett just scored. I was going to say TUD ended up going to overtime against a team of Platinums. And if not for a kickoff
right.
goal, who knows how that game could have gone. So it is important that Portsmouth they are getting a lead, putting one on the board. If they want to just try different strategies, now's your chance while you have the lead. If you're the Croatians right now, well, you're up against one of the top teams the UK has to offer. So this, in theory, is a very, very serious
Oh,
scrim game as Psycho just doing Psycho things, making it 2-0.
yeah, I feel like we're pretty happy with for now. They're like, oh, it's okay. It's only 1-0, and they blinked, and it's already 2-0. Straight down off the ceiling, Psycho. He's whipped out the Dominus. Very unusual for him. Usually always an Octane. The Halo has stayed as they do go up 2-0 in the blue here. Zuki up towards the ceiling. Will immediately get 2 players to commit. Mercy's still back, unfortunately. The opening not going to happen. And will the opening happen? You know, like I fully believe, but I think it's fair to say we've made the assessment, and we do think Portsmouth do outclass Fur, unfortunately. It's very, very, very much too close and too early to call, but I think the evidence keeps on rolling in.
Yes, you can see they're trying to pass it out from the back, but unfortunately there's just no one really there to receive the ball, and it's not like the positioning was bad. It's just Psycho, very quick shot, caught the defenders unexpected. They were on the ground. It was a low shot, but it just hovered above their cars. That's when the halo comes in, you know, that's why Psycho uses it, that extra imaginary
Really?
hitbox that you get, just to give yourself a little bit more reach. But you can see Bread now trying to cause a bit of bumps into the back line. Every time this Croatian side, they get the ball out, it's just met by the third man of Portsmouth.
Yeah.
They're just constantly knocking it back in. They need to think of something very creative if they are to break down this Portsmouth side. But this is better. But yet again, even with 0 boost, Portsmouth, they're just clearing the ball. They're getting good 50s like this, constantly keeping the Croatians under pressure. And even though they're a team of GCs, even though they're very solid players, unfortunately, they're just up against SSLs at the moment, the team that have been together a long time as well. Very difficult side to beat, and I think you're playing for pride at this stage. Try to keep the scoreline respectable. Saves like that are always going to help, but just try to get any sort of goal, because any goal should be a win in the Croatian sides.
That's spot on. I think the standout for me was I got distracted by the fact you mentioned the potential hitbox of the Halo, and it's reminded me of the best idea ever for April Fool's Day in Rocket League. You know, do you remember the time they changed the ranks to like Grand Eggplant?
Yeah,
Potato 1, Potato 2, Potato 3. That's amazing. Like, I miss it when they really put in the dedication to making April Fool's Days really memorable and actually, you know, an April Fool's Day. I can't remember what they did another time. Oh, they made the toppers massive.
Toppers
You know, like
massive,
the
yeah.
humongous foam hat that was like bigger than
Yeah.
your car. It obviously didn't have a hitbox, but what if that was an April Fool's Day? Toppers did give hitboxes. That
What you
just
think
for
would be?
one day. Imagine. Imagine you could pinch the ball between the hood of your car and the topper if you got the angle right. How insane would that be? Like, what if some of them were moving? You know, like the Jack in the Box one. You know, they've got to put in the development time to make sure when it's springing up, it's taller. So I can
And it
get
hits the ball
extra-
harder.
Yeah, exactly.
Hits
That
it like a
extra power on the
puncher.
pop from
Or hits it
underneath.
like
You're
a
right.
fist and rumble. Yeah, God.
Exactly.
Whew, we're onto
that's
something
probably,
here.
yeah, that's probably way too much effort.
It is, but it will be
a small
worth it,
indie
though.
game company, so we can't expect that of them.
Ah, well, surely, come on. If they, as you're saying, make it memorable, that is how you make it memorable. That's how you get people excited for something like April Fools. But for now, this game, we may as well talk about the game for a bit, shall we? The game has remained 3-0,
Yeah, still 3-0.
almost 4-0, but the defense is holding on, and you know, it's a respectable scoreline. They haven't really looked close to getting towards the net at all. Even though the shots are 6-4 in favor of Portsmouth, it doesn't feel that way at all. It feels like most of the shots that the Croatians are getting off are just long clearances that sort of make their way towards the net on 20 kilometers an hour and just count as a shot. But for now, the ball will drop. It is 1-0 to Portsmouth. First foot into the semi-final. They just need to take 2 more steps before they're there, and before they're close to $400. And Sivo says, FACEIT level 3, showing that FACEIT ranks, they don't exactly mean
Yeah.
everything.
And that is, of course, why the seeding and the FACEIT system is, you know, based off how many FACEIT tournaments you've racked up. Portsmouth, they've never played this before. They're rolling in through the front door like, hey, guys, and they've just absolutely elbowed everyone on the way in without realizing, you know. And here they come. definitely going to be getting a lot of points for this if they continue to win this series. And fair play. Fur did register 4 shots. I'd like to think they won't get shut out. I'm sad that that's the question that we're already asking, but I feel like it's probably the right question to be asking at this point.
Yeah. But, you know, they're getting saves as well, which is also important, I suppose.
That's not going to help them score.
It's not going to help them
score. This is not going to help them score.
This is how they're going to score. There's going to be some insane pinch, just an insane pinch. That's a 50 on their backboard, and it's going to find its way in the back of the net. That's what's going to happen.
Okay, right. So we're waiting for the insane pinch from Furhy, who I have to say I am pleasantly surprised by. They are clearly a competitive team, and I do hope we get to see them more on the European University Rocket League stage, because honestly, I feel like they could really improve with more competition and more games under their belt. They have been absolutely thrown in the deep end here against the Portsmouth Paladins. Will they learn to swim in time by the end of the series? Possibly. And maybe they already can swim, but this is like swimming in a very, very angry riptide, unfortunately. And that's not very easy for anyone.
It's not. And again, this ball just seems to constantly be in this Croatian side of the pitch. I believe custom colors aren't being used, so I can say orange side of the pitch. And honestly, you know, something I'm always in favor of is maybe just start demoing everyone. But look at that. Bread 2K just sort of stood there, took the 50, and ended up causing a double commit. But this is what I mean by, oh, okay, well, was that back? There's the goal. There's the clearance I was talking about. Did Bread mean to backflip here?
I mean, I don't think he could have reached it anyway. He was just out of position. I mean, that's just a fair enough goal. You know, Portsmouth getting very aggressive with the 2 going forward. A booming clear. And once again, I look like an idiot because we clearly can't write this series off. And maybe they can frustrate Portsmouth, but can they actually keep them from scoring long enough to actually get the first game on the board? There's a long way to go here in game 2. But Fur have a lead. And here they go, looking to play it down. Of course, player 1 now, renamed, beautiful, trying to zone out and confuse the Portsmouth opposition. I'm not sure it is going to help. Maybe it's a placebo, though?
Maybe, but at least SIBO is actually quite easy to pronounce now, rather than the previous name, which us poor English-only speakers had no chance of really pronouncing. So we do appreciate the players looking out for us in-game. But for now, they're still holding on to this lead. They're under a lot of pressure from Portsmouth. And, you know, 2 players sitting in net, maybe that's their way to try hold on to the lead. But as I say, that Psycho somehow manages to sneak it in between 3 of them. Never mind 2.
Well, it lasted, you know, not bad. A good minute or so. But unfortunately, 1 double commit from Ubis and Zuki. And there was the gap there. And you damn right, Psycho is going to find it. The gap in the bottom corner. But you see the Croatian flag out from Sebo. He's looking good right now. Can he make the save? He can. Put back over towards the corner, or Bread will put it straight off and into the danger zone, but only Zuki is up for it. Mercy, he's going to whiff. He had enough boost to reach it, and once again, a poorly defended net, certainly for Portsmouth standards, Zuki is going to get a second.
Yeah, and again, it's the Portsmouth players that are sort of pushing up quite hard, keeping them under pressure. And I think the Croatian side are starting to recognize this, that if they just get an accurate long ball over the defender that will be sitting at midfield, they're not sleeping deep in their own third at the edge of their box or anything. They are constantly staying at midfield. And the long balls like that, that's why I thought it was going to be a pinch goal that would get them through, you know, because I thought the speed wouldn't happen. But again, we can see that time there was a player back, and there we go, into the upper 90. And the Croatian side now, they're looking a lot stronger.
They really are. Look at this shot from Ubis. Absolutely clangs it into the open net. And suddenly Portsmouth, I think the bubble has sort of burst here. Going 1 down, you're like, that's fine. You know, we'll score, whatever. They're now down 3-1 here in game 2. There is still 3 minutes on the clock, though. And let's see how quickly they try and get to business. Sebo saving it off the front post, followed up by Ubis. The demo is immediately coming out on the aggression. But this is where there's a real chance to get inside Portsmouth's head. If you can stop them from scoring, which unfortunately they can't, we're back within 1.
Yeah, in theory they did stop them from scoring by scoring themselves. I mean, does that count as a
it's
an
not
own
what it's
goal?
going to go down with on the scoreboard, is it?
That's true, but it is technically an own goal, not a Psycho goal. So they're still shutting Psycho down, which is important.
Yeah, but they don't really they don't really like get credited that on the scoreboard. I'm pretty sure own goals have never really been credited, although maybe.
Oh,
something
is
in the
this rule
menu.
one going to stick? What? No, who broke it? Who was
Oh
that?
my
Who's in the
goodness.
Fennec?
Unbelievable. A triple wow from Sebo. A wow from Suzuki as well.
Mercy.
Breaking the rule 1. Insane here. Portsmouth. Do they just can we contact admins here? Have Portsmouth just forfeited the game by doing that?
Yeah, I think they could. No, that
I mean,
that
it's
goal
invalid.
doesn't count.
Yeah,
That
rule
goal
it
doesn't
out.
count. That doesn't
I mean,
count.
it wasn't even a good goal either. Like, this is why you
Yeah.
don't break rule 1, and therefore this wouldn't be this. If you didn't break the rule 1, this would be allowed. It's just really unfortunate that we have to step in like this. You know, I didn't want to have to be the decider of
Yeah.
justice, but that's how it is. I think Portsmouth. I don't even think that's just a disallowed goal. I think it's just a downright tournament disqualification, Ejam.
I know, and we're talking about April Fool pranks and stuff. I think a much easier one to code would be for April Fools if you get locked in a Rule 1, your car becomes invincible and you're glued to the other person.
Become like a ghost, and everyone faces through the rule 1.
No, people can knock you around and things like that, but you just cannot be demoed. Or if anyone touches you, they get demoed for trying to break the
So
rule.
if one person gets clattered across the field, the person in rule 1 with them gets dragged along with it like a
Exactly.
hitting top. Oh, why did Brett have to score? I was enjoying Portsmouth not winning. We're not biased, but we just aren't happy that they, broke rule 1.
Yeah.
What's that about? Unbelievable. 4-3 in favour of Portsmouth is what the scoreboard will show, even if the scoreboard is wrong here. They're at 1-0 as well in the best of 5, on the verge of getting themselves $400 in their pocket minimum for making it to the semi-finals here. The FACEIT Collegiate Rocket League Showdown, but can for the spanner in the works again. I feel like if regardless any of the Portsmouth roster is actually back and properly defending the net, I just can't see. I mean, like, look at how casual Psycho is there. I just can't see Fur scoring under the environment unless that net is open and on the counter attack.
Yeah, and honestly, I think Mercy should have done the gentleman thing here and just got themselves back into that Rule 1, no matter what.
Walk back into it.
Yeah, walk back into it. I think that's the gentleman thing to do. Like, honestly, I know there's money on the line, but you still never break Rule 1. It's just good manners in this game.
Yeah, it is.
It's
That's a good way to put it. Manners is the right way. I have never, like, I can proudly say I have never broken a Rule 1. Yeah,
Cool.
like it's like having a scout badge that no one cares about, but I care about it. You know.
It's fair, you know, and I think that, you know, at the end of the day, the likes of Rule 1s, it just also sort of goes back to, you know, gaming is supposed to be fun. And it's 4-4, and there we go. This karma, Mother Karma, is going to strike back. I have full faith.
The pass off the wall from Ubis. Mercy for breaking Rule 1 is scored on with 11 seconds left here. The late equaliser from Fur. Can the Croatians do it here as Mercy whiffs on the kickoff? They try the fake, but Brett holds his ground as here he comes, Ubis again, pinching it with the wall down the left-hand side. Sebo will try to look for the dunk here and try for the buzzer beater. He'll actually get the possession, but no one will be able to turn it in. We have an overtime in game 2. Would you have thought this after game 1, Ejam?
No, and I wouldn't have thought a 4-4 score line as well. I was impressed that the Croatian side actually managed to get 1 goal, let alone 4 goals. And a victory as well. Who would have thought about this? You break Rule 1, you lose the game. It is just facts.
My goodness, that is the biggest piece of karma right there for Portsmouth. That's unbelievable. They had 9 shots, but it wasn't enough. The defense very, very loose. I'm sure they still feel confident, but I need to worry about how much space they are winning and willing to give this first side. They've shown that they are very, very clinical. That's 5 goals from 8 shots.
Yes, that is solid. And honestly, it's a joke. I'm sorry.
I don't know if chat can see the in-game chat.
I don't think they can.
Yeah. Are you gonna give us a narration? Like, there's too much going on in the in-game chat. Like, we wouldn't even be able to. No play-by-play would be fast enough for the players typing towards each other's in-game. It's all a good laugh by the looks of it, and that's almost what I worry about for Portsmouth. they definitely seem to have let their guard down. I definitely think they think they're comfortably better, and I'd like to agree with them. But I also love the fact that Fur proved them wrong and still got the game on the board there. And now that we're all tied up, who knows at this point? I feel like I'm kind of expecting Portsmouth to kick it into gear and want to see this out comfortably. A game 5 would actually be very scary.
It would be. And where did Mercy's nickname, the Elite, come from? Is it because of the Renegade Cup Elite? They're just calling them the Elite?
I don't know.
I don't know, but it's Mercy 1 against 6 at the moment by the looks of things, unless my computer crashed. Steve, are you there?
I am here. I can see that we have a 3v3 game in DFH here for game 3. If you can't say anything, then that's okay. Mercy has pulled out a random car. Can you see Mercy's beautiful random car, Ejam? I'm going to assume not, because that's commonly what is known as an Ejam abduction. If you find him in your back garden, please let me know in the chat. We are looking for him. I'm sure he will be found at some point, and hopefully he will be in good health. So just me and you guys for this game 3 so far, as I get to talk about Mercy's beautiful car. In fact, I'm gonna get myself onto Mercy Cam. I'm not sure if our producer can do the same, but I will describe this vehicle to you. I don't know what car it is because it's one of the Battle Pass ones that has 3 versions and looks just like the other 5 Battle Pass ones that are the exact same. He appears to have a drone on his head. The flag, I'm actually not sure what it is. I'm kind of ashamed I don't know what that flag is. It's green with green and red triangles coming in from the 4 sides. And a white diagonal pattern. I actually feel like I should know this. I want to say it's a country in near, say, like. No, I don't want to be wrong.
I'm back.
Oh, welcome back, Ejam. Can you answer a question for me? Do you know the flag on Mercy's car? Because I actually don't. I don't think it's Burkina Faso, but that was the first thing I thought of. I think that's wrong though.
I don't know. Well, I'm not going to get into game for this one. I am just going to sort of look through the feed that has been provided until I can sort of figure out why my PC decided to restart itself. I think my PC couldn't process the fact that Mercy also broke rule 1. My PC didn't want to be a part of this anymore. It's like, no, you're not casting people who break rule 1. I think that's what maybe happened there.
I was wrong about the flag. I have thankfully just corrected myself. It is not Burkina Faso at all. It's Burundi, so the country just south of Rwanda, west of Tanzania. That is the flag, and our producer, lovely Smoothie, has also informed me, as he clearly knows his rocket passes better than I do, that the car is the Shakira. Basically, everyone just says the Shakira, even though that's not actually the name. It's from Rocket Pass 5. I don't know how he knows this. The conclusion I've jumped to is that Smoothie is clearly very sad, the fact that he knows this, but Portsmouth are again sad. Let's once again back to the game. Look at this touch from Zuki, and, we just come flying in here with the touch, and Portsmouth are down again.
Yeah, honestly, are Portsmouth just sort of messing around a little bit?
They're definitely messing around, but yeah, I agree. I think it might be too much.
Yeah, and let me just get myself into the OBS room again.
Ubis is the one.
Hey, there
you go. Got the one on the board. Unfortunately, Mercy in his questionable wardrobe choice, not that I want to be one to guard, is going to get the equalizer here at the other end. It was a lovely redirect. Sebo nearly kept it out with Zuki. Sneaks in under the Croatians' crossbar. For 1-1, we approach half-time. Are you once again fully alive, EJ?
I am fully alive. I'm fully back into the game. I'm just not going to touch my PC for the rest of this stream.
Okay.
Whether it's New Lake's power going out or my PC just randomly restarting, anytime there is an Irish caster, something will always happen to us.
No.
But at least it's out of the way in the first season and not that game 4 matchup that we're all so eagerly awaiting.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I would just ask chat to send many, many prayers and power right now so that you can somehow get into our remaining match lobbies without touching your PCs. We head into the final 2 minutes. We're still tied up here. 1-1 apiece in the game, 1-1 in the series. Portsmouth beginning to tighten the grip on the offense, but Ubis got it away for now. Mercy and Sebo trading hits down that right-hand side. 2 are up. Zuki is the one to get it into the blue corner.
And our legendary player 1 will be the one trying to keep it there, but not going to happen. Sebo pretty high shot doesn't find its way into the top corner. When those type of shots go in, you look like a genius. Mercy almost looking like a genius with that fake and a quick shot. 90 seconds left. It's 2-1 up, and this is a completely different side that we saw from our game 1 Croatians. Now,
ammo. They just open up the space. I can't believe this keeps happening. I feel like Portsmouth, every single time they feel like they've got this and they've got themselves in control, it's just one cheap mistake, and Fur keep on punishing.
Yeah, and this is exactly what I want to see from Fur. And the thing is, Portsmouth, if they don't win this game, it's 2-all, they still haven't won it. But if they don't win this game, and the Croatian Fur are on series point, and they get the first goal in that next game, Portsmouth could sort of start getting a little frustrated and start getting a little desperate, trying solo plays, things like that. And since the Croatians like to sit back anyway, I think that could be, possibly the downfall of this Portsmouth side. But what a result it would be for the Croatians. We thought beforehand it was going to be 3-0 Portsmouth, but already we have been proven wrong. And in game number 3 here, it's still even with a minute left to play.
Oh, crossbar save from Zuki. Great read to get a clearance with that touch as well. It's now up in the midfield. Player 1, of course, Ubis doesn't quite get the touch he was looking for, and Zuki's going to go on the back foot. Psycho securing the mid boost as we head to the business end of this game 3. Let's not forget that game 2 was just won in overtime by the Croatians. And maybe they can get themselves another late victory here in regulation this time, but it looks like it would have to be on the counter attack once more. Zuki has plucked it out from the backboard, but isn't going to be able to get any more contact.
Yeah, a little bit unlucky there, but look at Portsmouth. This time they're the ones pushing up to the midfield line, trying to control the midfield boost, put Portsmouth on the back foot. And now every time Portsmouth cleared, it is more or less getting cleared back straight away, except that's a big whiff at a terrible time in the game. And unfortunately, with 10 seconds left, you have to think maybe they're going to have to win game 4 and 5, the Croatians, should they go towards that semi-finals and pick up that $400.
10 seconds. Can we see a miracle or just, a kickoff goal? Ubis fortunately feeds it to Brett in the corner, and he might be able to shut this down at the opposite end of the field. Zuki has control, has it up the wall, but Psycho gonna get that dunk. It's gonna bounce down. They keep it alive for now, but it's just set up for Psycho to make it 4. It will be 4-2 in game 3. Portsmouth Paladins 1 game away from the semi-finals.
Yeah, and it just unfortunately broke down in the last 10 seconds or so. Little bit unlucky, but not the end of the world. It is 4-2 to Portsmouth. 4-2. They won the game 4-2. They're 2-1 up. Tylacto, what's Fur's way of getting back into this now? Would you think that Portsmouth, they're just going to turn it on, just make sure they're not messing around, make sure they make it to those semi-finals? Or do you think Fur have something maybe they can do to shut down Psycho in particular?
Now, I can answer this question, Ejam, figuratively, or I can answer it statistically. And statistically, that game, it was 19 shots to 4 in favour of Portsmouth. The sad reality is that they are having a good time. They are having a laugh. And I'm very much excited and a fan of Fur right now for giving them a run for their money despite that. Clearly, if we have a straight-up matchup, I can't see Portsmouth losing, and that's understandable. There's no shame in that, right? So clearly, it needs to not be a straight-up matchup, Ejam. They've got to get inside their heads. They've got to somehow make them and lead them into a full sense of security here, and I don't quite know how Fur are going to do that. It seems like many stars had to align for their Game 2 victory, but one of them's already back in place because there is the Shakira on Mercy, and it's just hideous customization.
It's horrible, isn't it? It's absolutely disgusting. And double tap for Bread, not going to happen this time around. This car is horrible to look at. I just wish we could just focus on a player for this whole series instead of Mercy. But for now, it doesn't really matter. Something I'm impressed about by the Croatians is how they're actually able to hold on quite well in the first minute or so of play. They're not putting themselves under pressure straight away. Sometimes we see them even get that first goal, which is important. But I think if they can just maybe survive the initial minute and a half onslaught and then just let them play their own game, see if they can get some more long-range clear goals, things like that, it is a possibility. But for now, it's all Portsmouth. Psycho's shot does find its way into the back of the net, and anytime you see Psycho up in the air like that, you have to be worried because the accuracy of this player is insane.
Strong power, always going to be the case off the front of that Dominus as well. We were asking whether Third could get through the first minute with a clean sheet. The answer, no, unfortunately. Play this one from behind as it keeps coming straight back towards the front for them. Unfortunately, Psycho with another shot and another goal. He's just not missing right now. It's 2-0. Portsmouth, I think their patience has just run up.
Yeah, I think this might be the game where they just shut it to bed, make a real statement, just to remind their semi-finalist opposition just what exactly they are capable of. But, of course, we've seen 2 3-goal leads go askew already this series. It's not over quite yet, but Portsmouth, they're looking a lot stronger than we've seen so far. Still using the Shakira, still has a bloody drone on top of the car. Like, that looks like an interesting hitbox, you know? See the way it's still a bit above the car? That'd make for a spicy little hitbox, you know?
It's so tiny that if you got the ball in the right spot, it'd be like a seat that it's just sort of sitting on completely comfortably. That one a little bit uncomfortable off the front of they cleared away. You see what I mean? Like it would just sort of be sat on the roof of the car if you keep it from going left or
You
right.
could just, it's like, what's the American football mode called? Where the ball
gridiron.
Yeah, except
Games.
you can use the boost this time around. As it just sits on top of your car.
I mean, it would be better than American football, right? So maybe we should just put drones on top of cars and run them around a field.
It's like rugby, so.
Yeah, well, rugby's better though. Don't compare it to American football. Don't sink that low. Oh, that one's sunk up high. Look at Zuki with a banger. We're back within 1.
We are, and Red, a bit of an unorthodox rotation, it has to be said. Suki just says thank you very much, and well, I think their player banner says it all. It's just easy when you're giving players of this caliber opportunities like that.
That is true. Can they continue to do it though? And can they continue to take them on the side of the challenge in the midfield? Oh my goodness, the pinch that they just that's like you just turn sliders on FIFA and you just touch the ball and bang, back of the
net. The pass from Psycho was absolutely insane. What? I think that just looked like a decent goal, but that was very, very impressive how Psycho somehow managed to pinch it clear from that angle, and then Bread redirecting it so accurately as well. That was insane. That was a very, very good goal, and Portsmouth are back to this 2-goal lead. Their comfort zone, the zone where we see them start messing around a little, going for some insane mechanical plays. Still time to come back in the game, but again, I don't know how many times I'm going to have to say it. This Portsmouth side, they're tough to beat.
That is I would have said that was fair and been proven this series, but they're clearly not, because game 2, just get them locked into a rule 1, so that's Mercy's curse to miss the crucial save, and a 5-4 win in overtime will be taken home all the way back to Croatia for assuming they do go out at this point. They've still got 2 minutes though to find 2 goals, and they nearly find one of them. The physical play from Zuki was zoning out the goal line, and maybe it's not going to matter because the rebound, and there it is. Player 1, the beautiful Ubis renamed, will get us back in within the 1.
Yeah, and Psycho just messing up the flip reset there. It does happen. Those were the fancy mechanical plays you see Portsmouth do when they do go 2 goals up. And sorry, I keep losing my voice every time that Mercy card comes on the screen because it's just so disgusting. That angle in particular, it's horrible. If my engine sound was a decal, it would look like that.
What's your engine sound?
Motor
mouth.
Yes, that's the one.
You could have said motor mouth instead of exposing my ears.
Apologies.
The rendition. We are
Apologies.
within 1, heading into the final 90 seconds here of Game 4 on DFH Stadium in the quarterfinals of the FACEIT Collegiate Rocket League Spring Showdown. I'm curious to see whether or not it will stay this way. The time continues to tick down, and Portsmouth eager to wait for a mistake to restore that 2-goal advantage. Zuki with that pinch up towards Sebo will find Ubis. I think, he would have ran the race bit if he didn't run out of boost. Red won't be able to get the shot on target though. So false alarm for now. And with Sebo making a touchdown field, the answer questioning, of course, of the Portsmouth defense, but that is a question they do answer rather comfortably.
Yeah, and again, I think something just pointing out is the backboard defense is very solid. We constantly see a Portsmouth player always up, sort of rotating up on that backboard, making sure there's no big, long backboard plays. getting done. Mercy now, double tap opportunity, baits
Oh,
out
the
two
save!
defenders. Psycho missing as well. How often do we see that? And you know, it's still possible, especially when players are just bumping into each other, right? Like this. And
Oh,
Sebo right now, maybe going for an executioner. Did 3 demos in the last 10 seconds. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Best way to deal with Psycho is just remove them from the pitch.
they still need to get the ball down the other end and therefore also into the net. And maybe they can do that right here. Maybe it has to be right here. Sebo into the corner. The 50 will bounce off the side wall. Ubis is up, off the corner. All players at the front post of Portsmouth, but no one challenging. Both Zuki and Sebo back at the halfway line. Maybe the pass back across. What a play!
My God.
What an equaliser!
And that is pinpoint passing accuracy. A beautiful 1-2, 129 kilometers an hour on the shot as well. 1 second left, Ilacto. Unless there's a kickoff goal here, we are going to overtime.
We had one overtime so far today, Ejan. Who won it by any chance?
Ooh, statistically speaking, I love to bend facts. Every time the Croatians go to overtime against Portsmouth, they win.
Ah, it's clearly over then. For the
It's
Portsmouth
over.
Paladins,
It's game
then
5.
We're going to game 5 at this rate. If that fact stands up, to stand the test of time, I should say, all of about 10 minutes, can it hold up to be a little bit further into the future, barring a potential game 5 overtime? Ubis is up. It's inviting for Sebo, but the double ends up bouncing backwards. Good block to deny a quick counter into what was temporarily an open orange net. That one is certainly open in the midfield. Bread gets a decent amount of power in it, but lacks a bit of venom realistically. That one has a whole lot of it. What a save from Zuki. Psycho thought for sure probably he was going to be sinking that one into the back of the net, and Portsmouth are hailing down shots upon this fur net right now.
Yeah, 11 shots to 7 in this game. Not quite as one-sided as we saw last game. Psycho this time the one doing the demos. Unfortunately, Bread now, solo play opportunity. Has to try drop it down here, but Suki, very, very solid defense. That's an accurate shot, saved again. Portsmouth peppering the net right now. Unfortunately, cannot find anything, and who knows, maybe this team will just end up having a 100% overtime win record.
I don't know. What did they get one chance at the other end of the field and will somehow manage to put it in? How frustrating that must probably be for Portsmouth if that does happen. Mercy is up and fishing for the double. He'll get it on the end of the line, but Ubis also there to clear it away down the left-hand side. He gets it past 2. Bread's required. Pops it up the backboard patiently and now puts it towards the center where Mercy is up, but whiffs completely. And Zuki also likewise faked out, but the ball is not getting out anytime soon. Again, Psycho with a shot on target, and Bread will be allowed to turn, but I dare say, I don't want to curse them, and I probably will, but Fur are starting to look a little bit more comfortable on defense, as they now probably concede.
No,
Okay,
not yet.
good.
Wait. Oh, Psycho. Ooh, Psycho. Very rare whiff there. Obviously, there was defenders in net, but I was expecting Psycho to hit the target. And look how far pushed up those Portsmouth players are. It's very possible that it's an over-the-top goal that goes in, or this. Mercy, you need to be careful here. Oh, Psycho to the rescue, and Portsmouth, they don't look comfortable in these transitions back. It seems to be where they're most vulnerable.
And really, they're vulnerable again.
Oh,
Psycho with having to
demos.
free flip across the net there, evading a bump at the same time just to make the save at the Portsmouth end. We very much nearly did have a game 5. We've got half a game's worth of overtime here in game 4, though, as we're still going, but the net is open. No, it's not. Out of the back, he was hiding behind the post.
He was, I was
And he then,
wondering.
completely disguised, comes out and makes a rather comfortable save. We play on.
And that could find its way into the net. It doesn't. Again, the ball is in this final third up the Croatian side, up the pitch. They're doing anything to get it out of there. They have a chance now. And we saw the passing play to make it 3-all. Maybe something like that again, or a whiff down. That somehow bounces perfectly. Bread, crucial touch, but has to get another. Does so and still follows it, winning the 50. And
Oh, the fake.
a fake.
It's open.
It's open.
It's
It's
over.
over. And it was a brilliant effort from the Croatian side against a very, very, very good UK side. They shouldn't be ashamed of themselves at all. That final game within.
Yeah, that's a memorable series as well. As I invite all the players here on Fur to look out for all University Rocket League tournaments here in Europe, especially. Portsmouth will move on to the quarterfinals and ensure themselves at least $400 of prize money to share. Who knows who they'll play in that semi-final, though. Well played to Fur. Best of luck, of course, in their further tournaments and future endeavors. It's really a sort of series that could put them on the map, you know?
It is. It was a great series altogether. But you know what? I like that we have 3 more series coming up.
True.
So we are going to throw it to a very quick break. But when we get back, we will be bringing you next game's action, which I believe is OVGU against TVC.
Maybe.
Maybe. It depends who won the matchup against Aarhus and OVGU. But that game will be coming up on the stream next. And then, of course, following that, we will have 2 more, all the quarterfinal action here today. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you soon.
Welcome back, ladies and gents. It's me, Ty Lacto, and eJam here for a lovely evening of the FACEIT Collegiate Rocket League Spring Showdown. We got another quarterfinal coming your way, and we're going to have to hope it's a damn good one, aren't we, eJam? Because we've had the tragic news that Kiel and Amsterdam's times don't line up, so they can't play. And we also don't have either OVGU or Aris. So, I mean, congratulations to TVZ. They're in the quarterfinal and they're getting prize money. I mean, I don't know about you, eJam, but I'm pretty jealous of them. They haven't played a game and they're in the quarterfinal. That is impressive. That is literally playing your opponents off the field before they even get on to the field.
Wait, quarterfinal or semi-final?
Quarterfinal. Wait.
Yeah. Yeah, into the quarter.
You're right.
Semi, yeah. So they're getting $400 because a team for nothing. That is free money.
Incredible.
Free low. That is.
Someone needed to tip me off about this beforehand. I think we could pretend to be students, can't we? I mean, sadly,
we'll go back to uni.
Yeah. Unfortunately, either way, the quarterfinal we do have on stream right now: Durham and Southampton. Of course, Southampton B on paper, but they are the chattiest of B teams around. By Varsity Challenge, they've been around the block more than once or twice, and they are a very reputable team, one of the strongest B teams, I would say, in the UK. And we've got another team from the UK, one of the stronger teams in the UK. Therefore, Durham, they do come in as favourites, right, eJam? But
yes.
But does that really mean anything when we're talking about Durham?
It doesn't. No, they didn't impress me on Wednesday at all. We'll see if they can bounce back from that. I know they're good players. I know they should be favourites, but Wednesday is really, I'm struggling to find a reason on how they can play good. Just infield pass it. That's all they need to do. Just stop going for the Mordisha constant off the ceiling shots. Kino as well. I mean, in the later games, Kino started defending the backboard, and that worked out for them so well as well. I mean, they changed some things up and they looked impressive, but then they just stopped doing them, and it made absolutely no sense to me, and it was incredibly frustrating to watch. Because as I said before, they're a goddamn good team. It just didn't work out for them. So hopefully now, that was the show match. This isn't a show match. So hopefully we'll see them at their best and not trying out whatever they were trying out on Wednesday, because it didn't work.
Yeah, like also they were against BCU Blue in the show match, a playoff team from the last split in the UK, whereas Durham, of course, didn't make the playoffs that split. So they were actually underdogs, whereas they're heavy favourites coming in to today. And of course, when we recap, TVZ, Czech side, coming in as the 1 seed, thanks to their FACEIT rating. I mean, main man AT Darba, their captain, alongside, I believe that's Ravoja, and Insomnia 44. So they came in with a bye from the round of, 16. So they got to the quarterfinals, where they now effectively get a bye because with the rescheduling, OVGU and Aarhus, neither of them here tonight. So TVZ are through to the semi-finals, where they play, of course, the winner of Portsmouth against Fur. We had that as our first team game of the evening, so they will play Portsmouth in the semi-final. Even if they lose that matchup, they have $400 in the bag. If they win that matchup, then crikey, we'll be writing home about that. What's going to happen with the Amsterdam Kiel matchup in the quarterfinals. Again, like I say, the times don't line up for either of them teams, so sadly we won't be able to stream that. If that is played, it will be off stream. Earlier today, Kiel eliminated UEA in the round of 16.
Don't talk about it.
Yeah, quite a similar situation for Windesheim. So Varsity challenged into the quarterfinal that we have on the stream for you right now. And of course, Durham beat FOI off stream, a Croatian side. They beat them pretty convincingly from what I gather. And so they come into this matchup on a bit of a streak, looking to fight for a spot in the semi-finals, where they'll have a cracking game against either Amsterdam or Kiel.
Yeah, and honestly, even if they lose 3-0 to Portsmouth, or sorry, 5-0 or 4-0, yeah, 4-0, because it's the best of 7. So even if they get 4-0 tomorrow by Portsmouth, the fact that they made it to a semi-final and they're basically getting $133 each, that's just sometimes it's just, well, even if we can't show up tomorrow, we still have that money in the bank. It's insane how things have worked out for them.
Yeah, so it is, also insane the fact that Varsity challenged appear to be challenged in the act of joining in. Unfortunately,
Caster's curse. Caster's curse.
As both them and Durham are here, I'll wish them good luck and let them know that they can join as we have our second and unfortunately, of course, quarterfinal of the night. I'm hoping it's going to be a great one. We already had a pretty entertaining one between Portsmouth and Fur already, although I'm assuming that Portsmouth were having a little bit of fun with it, as we indeed have Southampton. Of course, Southampton B, I will clarify, they are not the Chads you may know of Dark Sun, Jim Jam, and Tom P. It is Durham against the Diversity Challenge. They certainly come in as underdogs. Durham, this is a test. Can they prove that they're not still haunted by just, I don't even know what to call it, the Durham factor?
The Durham factor. I mean, I like the start table a lot, and I'm hoping they play as well as they did. But I also love the fact that a B team can be so goddamn good at the game as well. Now, the last time I've sort of seen a case of where a B team is really good is not BCU, but the other Birmingham University, where they themselves don't even know which is the A team and which is the B team, because it's just a case of who actually plays better together. But Boot coming drawing first blood at the moment. That is a very, very solid start to this game. And funny enough, it was Durham that were actually scoring first in nearly every game on Wednesday and then just throwing the lead. This time around, they're actually conceding first. So who knows, maybe they'll end up winning the game.
And this is already looking a little bit worrying if you're a Durham fan or a Durham student. There's been sent a message right now by Southampton that they are here to play, even if Empt Gaming, although I'm pretty sure that is meant to be Puka, is rolling around here with I believe that is the Trinidad and Tobago flag, if I'm not mistaken, in the skyline. Looking very cool, as they are 1-0 in the lead, looking like cool cats indeed. Buke, the right-hand side. Durham will look to aggress, and the longer they are kept at bay here, the more frustrating it is going to get for them.
Yeah, and here's a question for you. Have you ever been to Trinidad and Tobago?
Believe it or not, Ejam, I have not been to Trinidad and Tobago.
I have. So as soon as a goal goes in, you are going to hear an insanely bad pun that for all 0 of our Trinidad and Tobago viewers watching will understand, and nobody else.
And that's only if Empt scores or
yes,
Puka.
They will.
Okay.
I'll just text them to score now, will I?
Okay. Okay. Oh, what a save of the front post by Mordisha. This is tense times for Durham right now. You can feel them sort of fighting for dominance of this game as 2 of them taken out by the touch from Hams, but Empt not looking for a goal. Doesn't want to, get you too excited too soon, Ejam. Just want to quick fire on the pun there. Don't let it slip. As we remain at 1-1, 2 minutes into game 1. We have definitely got a series on our hands here.
It is, and right now he will be absolutely liming. But for now, unfortunately, still needs to find that goal before he is hitting the scene. But for now, anyways, I'll stop with the jokes. It is 1-1. And if there was something on Wednesday, I believe, you know me, I love to manipulate statistics. I think it could have been said for the Durham series that whatever team scored first ended up losing the game. So if that's
so bizarre, that almost never happens.
It was a bit of a weird
factor. It's the Durham factor. That's at play.
And it was every goal was scored in like the first 15-20 seconds as well.
It's like some sort of Yu-Gi-Oh card that just turns upside down the battlefield. Things don't make sense. That's the description of the Durham factor card. Got 10 stars, maximum power. It's definitely at play on the field right now. But they are coming forward, and you see that? That's the Durham factor right there. Kino, no other player in the game could have sent that ball sideways, but he finds a way.
If there's a will, there's a way. But for now,
see, like what are these passes? Like, it's incredible. I love this team so much. Like, I don't want to admit bias, but I absolutely love Durham. They are a team that just does not make sense. They are so frustrating. They are not lovable in any way until the odd moments that they pop off or make plays that somehow work that probably shouldn't, like the way they qualified being in UEA the other week with a literal lag reset where Zouch thought he had a flip reset, went to use it, and all of the UEA defense thought that he had it and that he was going to use it, and everyone got faked out, and it just sort of flopped in front of the net, and it was an open net, and they'd come back down from 3-0 within like a minute and won it 4-3 before regulation, like before overtime in regulation. It just makes no sense. Like, what's going to happen here? Kino, okay, that's a great stop by Buke, and he's actually going to be able to go forward here as well. Zouch makes the save.
Yeah, and now it's Mord knocking it up high. Nothing going to come through here. Hams for head, not able to find anything. Souch now in field to, well, nobody. And here I was saying I'd like to see them pass it in field more often. Why is the ball going that way in the hands of the Southampton players? I do not
Chilling.
know, but it's looking a bit scrappy at the moment. But these are the sort of moments where Durham benefit from, because they are a scrappy team. They don't play typical Rocket League. They are impossible to read, because I'm not even sure they themselves know what the next play is going to
Yeah.
be. It just sort of, they just hit the ball and just hope for the best that someone along the way gets a touch like
Oh.
that. And well, good, communication there, saying that they're missing the ball, leave it for the man behind. 10 seconds left, Tylacto. We'll be looking at overtime game number 1, and these
I'm
teams,
not
they're
sure.
looking very even right now.
They are. There's a nice little shot from Ordisha at the other end, but I have to say an even better save from the ham sandwich on the Southampton goal line, and we will have overtime in game 1. Durham, they will certainly do a lot to settle their nerves here with prize money on the line on this series. They can get themselves on into the lead. This very first overtime as goes up for it. Back towards the centre.
Oh, no.
It goes in a great save there. Once again, from Hams.
Yeah. And again, the infield passing, they're looking scary as Zouch. Very, very important touch. It's looking a bit messy here. A few 50s need to work out in their favour, and finally Mord flicks it over one almost. Still bounces into the opposite side of the pitch, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this is going to be a long overtime. And again, with this Durham team, it never feels like it's going to be an insane mechanical play that's going to win them the game. It's just going to be who's going to blink first, who's going to make that first mistake.
I'll certainly be hoping for a mistake and an easing of tensions when it comes to the defense right now of Southampton. They're looking really tensed up and no gaps within them.
Oh
Maybe
my,
not, because
what?
there is the play. Look at my mechanics though, the clean execution. Mordisha in field towards Kino. Look at that
Pinch?
finish.
What? It wasn't even pinched. It's just a 136 kilometer an hour shot. Like,
Right.
I did not expect that to get so much power at all from there, Tylacto. That was just a very, very solid shot altogether. And you know what? It worked for them.
That is clinical right there from Durham. 3 shots, 2 goals. And you know what? Fair enough. They felt reasonably in control in the midfield. But I mean, massive props to Diversity Challenge. We, certainly in the UK, we have a ton of strong B teams, and I kind of want to have a show, almost like a show tournament where only B teams are allowed to enter. Because there's a ton of strong ones, and there's definitely an open discussion on who is the strongest now that we no longer really have the Kingfishers from UEA. They're not really a thing anymore, and I think they certainly would have taken the cake. You're right to reference the Birmingham of old, EJAM, but I don't really think they have much of a B team anymore. I mean, they do. It's unfair for me to say that, but they're not in nationals, so yeah, neither have Diversity challenged, but actually maybe no. Actually, they were. They did make it to nationals week 1. I can barely remember if they actually stayed up though. I'll have to check. I should know. I'm sorry.
You have to check. Have a little look at stats. Go ahead. Why not? As we've learned that Empt is actually an 8 Trini. So there you go. There is a bit of Trinidad blood in them. As Mord, did Mord make it back in time? Yes, Mord is back in time, and we will be going to game number 2, 1-0 in favor of Durham, keeping up the whichever team scores first loses. The only way that curse can be broken is if it goes to a 0-all overtime. Therefore, the first team to score will have to win.
Yeah, that is true. Actually, you're spot on, and I'm also happy that you've encouraged me to find this out, and I can say that, very interestingly, Diversity Challenged won 3-0 in the elimination game in Nationals. They are still in Nationals. They eliminated the Saw Sharks, which is the B team for Sussex. So really claiming a scalp there. And you can see they've been making runs through qualifiers as well elsewhere. And props to them. They're proving a very tough nut to crack for the Durham defenders, who did get the better of them in game 1. But let's see how they respond here with you down the sideline. He hasn't got the boost, but his teammate certainly has. And Yuka, call him what you want here. He's going to control it for Trinidad, and maybe he will score this series, EJAM, and you'll get to be very happy.
I might be. I'm just happy to know that there is a bit of Trinity in him, because when I did go to Trinidad and Tobago, it's actually an amazing country, and that net is left open, and Well, if Hamster had any boost left in them, they could have potentially got the goal, but not to be this time around. Zouch now, that's a big 50. And Kino looking to bounce it in, but unfortunately not enough pace or accuracy on the ball. It's still looking dangerous, but again, this game, it's even yet again, and the ball knocked in field, and Emlan. Okay. I think I've unintentionally cursed Empt from scoring this series.
Potentially. I mean, this could have been a flip reset double. I don't even know if he realized he had the flip until it was a little too late. But a lovely finish from Buke. And once again, it's Southampton who take the lead in game 2. If your curse is right and the Durham effect is in play, which it certainly seems to be, then maybe that's not good news. But, I mean, props to them. They are really taking it to Durham here. And I'm excited for the game. But I also still want to know more about Trinidad and Tobago and your visit. Like, can I know more?
Well, basically, it was a case of we were meant to go to Africa, but Ebola was a big issue. So we're like, hey, instead of going
the
to
old
Africa,
pandemic that didn't even make
the
it
old
global.
pandemic, yeah. You know what? Instead of going to Africa, we'll just go to Trinidad and Tobago. So we had a contact over there that used to be a teacher in the school I was in, and he set us up in building houses for the poor over there. And everyone was really nice to us. Everyone was really friendly, and we felt like celebrities everywhere that we went.
And that's
and it
normal
was
for you,
just,
though.
it was, yeah, that's fair enough. You know, all I have to do is say I'm friends with Sin, and everybody's interested in me all of a sudden. You know, but you know, it was a really welcoming country. I felt safe there the whole time. The food was amazing. They spoke English, which was a big thing, even though I did sort of struggle with the typical Caribbean accent that they have, because when I got to the airport, they were trying to process. There we go. There's the curse. But they were trying to process why there was a load of Irish people going to Trinidad, or something they don't really see. And she was trying to ask me for my flight.
Oh no, he scored! He scored his own goal. Thanks to the
own.
Durham effect. That's a lovely Durham goal. Do
They
you
asked
get
me
to say
for
the fun now? I mean,
no,
kind of scored. No, you don't.
no.
Okay.
But they
carry
asked me
on.
for my flight number. But they were saying
that's-
flight number. Flight.
I mean,
Flight.
I feel like as an Irishman, you can't sort of criticize English being tough to understand in another's native action, right? Surely.
You're a country that speaks English, and you have place names that aren't even English. Like, honestly,
true.
like Staffordshire, there's a one, all right.
Oh,
and there
lovely
we go.
goal.
And Mordisha shutting us up. That's a conversation for another day, all right.
Staffordshire. This one was from all the way down in Cornwall. He read that one beautifully. Off of the side wall, put it past the Southampton defense, and once again they come down from behind to take the lead. And that sounds amazing. Like the food, you're right, it must have been great. Like what did you eat? Describe it.
They're called doublés, which are like
They
a
come in
really no, it's like a burrito except curry more than anything, and real filling. It's a bit weird because they leave the bones and the meat in the wrap, so you sort of need to spit them out. But whoa, Zouch with the massive goal, and another 1-3-6 goal. This is a speedy team.
That is powerful. Absolutely bones it into the back of the net from the midfield. Why would they leave bones in the food? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. Maybe it's just tradition over there. But again, I'd just like to point out, whatever team scores first, they tend to lose. It's definitely a Durham thing.
So you're saying own goal off kickoff in game 3? Is that what you're saying? You're saying that. That's your official advice.
Oh,
I mean, I don't know if it's
wait,
working.
never
It's
mind.
Challenge in the midfield. Chad Ham sandwich here with the forehead of a 50. Crikey, that is a 50 head. I mean, Kino's pulled out of it. He'd booked his own holiday. That was to the boost though, not Trinidad and Tobago, and that is into the back of the Durham net. We're back within 1. This is crikey. What advice do you give now?
Well, they're still winning, so I'm just gonna stay quiet.
Yeah, that's fair.
But again, we saw this last game. This is how our Croatian fur ended up scoring a lot of goals against Portsmouth. It's just these long, over-the-top players, but that's a lovely pass. It's an opportunity almost, but the defender is just bullying a 3-on-1. Very solid defensive rotations. That's a shot and a half, and I'm not sure who got the touch there, but it's very unexpected and very accurate and fast as well, as things are getting a little scrappy for both sides right now, but crucially, it is Durham that just need to hold on for another minute, and then poor Southampton, they're going to have to reverse sweep. And as much as I'd like to see a reverse sweep to end our day, a trio is definitely how I would not like to finish our day, especially when we were expected to have 4 series.
I feel like Viburnity just deserve better right now. They've made a hell of a
And
series
oh
of this. That shot,
no!
though, you actually cut. This is your curse. The Durham effect. You're waiting for Pukey to score, and you're waiting to say this pun, and you might never get to say it. If you that's the best chance he's had all series, and he's put it wide of the mark. It's painful. It's a huge chance, and if you're going to beat a team of the quality in Durham, you have to be putting those away, surely.
Yeah, but the joke's on you because he's going to score the winning goal after an 8-minute overtime game 5.
If you're right, I will retire.
Oh,
If you're right.
Oh, okay.
Oh my goodness. Forget this. Forget life in general. I mean, Viburnity is still alive here. I can't believe he wrote off this game too. Modisha can't even make the touch because Hans has shut him down. And Buke's actually leveled us up. What a game this is.
Yep. And M doesn't want to score the winning game 5 overtime goal. He wants to sort of score it now, but that's twice so far where he does all the hard work and then his teammates just sort of tap it in the open net.
He's going to score eventually, surely.
8 minutes and 37 seconds. Remember
Really?
the time.
I mean, you said it was going to be game 5, though. This is is this just the metaphorical game 5 because this is where the series is actually won mentally? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, because this is always going to happen. I was going to say Durham should just win here. So obviously we have to get the reverse sweep started. So just, Durham are going to win this game. That's just a fact.
Durham are going to win this overtime, and it's redundant. Like you're saying, this doesn't matter the length of it. Durham have got it in the bag.
Yes.
Okay. You never thought of applying as a job like a tarot card reader or something? Like you fulfilling destinies? They're going to win it, aren't they? I mean, Buke's going to make another good save. I think it's okay. He does off the Southampton post there. Ham's got it into the midfield, but I do worry that Durham may be back on the front foot again. Zouch looking for the flip reset, does get it over one quite impressively. Clear a little bit weak, and Mordisha able to close the jaws of Durham just that little bit closer again as Southampton do well to scramble it away. And the apparent certain Durham incoming win doesn't seem to come in just yet. In fact, it looks to be a little bit in jeopardy right now. It's going down the other end.
I've cursed him. I've actually cursed him. I'm so sorry. Oh no. Any Southampton fans, I am so sorry. This is like Kent all over again. It's please. I'm lost for words.
How Durham not conceded? Surely Keno with a whiff as Ouch is there as we play on here in game 2 overtime, and Empt cannot score to save his bacon. Quite literally, forget it. Ham, he's not having any issue scoring when he's in the opportunity. As we're only 2 minutes deep. As this one onto the backboard, it's open. Can Durham put it away? Zouch
I told you. I told you.
You said Durham do go 2-0 up in the series, and how? Just how?
Why does this always happen with me? It's beyond a joke, man. I have some hidden powers I am not aware of. This shouldn't be happening. M should have scored twice in overtime, but because I said Durham were going to win, how did he even get the ball so high to hit the crossbar is beyond me. Like, I feel so bad for all the Southampton fans out there. I am sorry. I don't actually mean for most of this stuff to happen. I mean, if I said something like, oh, I'll shave my mustache if M doesn't score, then maybe it would be funny. But the fact I'm just being mean about this. But look, Durham are going to score first. Southampton are going to win this game. Durham are going to score first in the next game. Southampton are going to win the next game. Game 5 is going to be 0-0, 8 minutes 37 seconds. Emp's going to score. GG. I'm going to look like an absolute genius.
But I can actually see that scenario happening. It's so unlikely, though. There's surely no way. First things first is that Durham have to score first in regulation here in Game 3. And then they would just be a matter of a few minutes away from those semi-finals.
What are you doing,
into a prize money. Southampton B hanging on by the skin of their teeth here. They're down 2-0. Certainly harshly so, you have to say, but they can only blame their own conversion. sadly, Durham, team of quality. They're showing it with the 2-0 scoreline, but you have to say it could have been more convincing, but this is the Durham factor, and we will respect it. They've passed one in the case of Kino. He's going to struggle to get back to that one.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, if there's one thing Southampton are consistent at, all joking aside, is they are good at getting that first goal. They're good at getting the lead, but then that's it. They're struggling to hold on to the lead. Now, they did very well to come back in that last game to get that third equalising goal with 4 seconds left on the clock. But unfortunately, if they can just play like they do at the start of games and the end of games, they'd be looking a lot better. It's Durham's sort of antics in the midfield, in the middle of the game, that just makes things work for them. And it's looking scrappy more now, shooting chance, maybe a double tap takes up 2 defenders. That was risky. Your 2 teammates weren't really anywhere there to be seen, but for now, they hold on, maybe looking for the 3rd game in a row to get that opening goal. And again, both teams play so far forward when they're in possession that these long-range balls over the top are definitely an option to score goals. But bumping your teammates on the backboard like that and giving away possession, that's not the way to get that goal.
That's a lovely little pass down towards Ouch. Although it has been clunky at times, I feel like, from Durham. There's a time when Mordisha just came all the way across the pitch to take a hit that Kino had quite nicely hit over to the corner. It's not calling him out. It was just one instance, and I feel like it's gone around the houses with all 3 of them at different times, and has sometimes lost them pressure against this Southampton side, which I remind you, harshly or not, Durham should be favourites against, should be controlling the game against. And yes, they're up 2-0, but I feel like they will maybe have been expecting a better job. Props to Southampton, though. They certainly could have had at least one game on the board had they been shooting better. But maybe they're just living up, not so much to the Ejam curse, but the Ejam prophecy. But no breakthrough for Durham just yet, and that could be on target. And if Ouch doesn't get back for it, he does get back. A great save. And just in case Empt was going to score, Ham saves it for us.
Yes, he knows what the prophecy has been said. And now Durham score here. No, they don't, because they know what happens if they score first. That's an awkward shot. They should have done very well to get it in from that angle, but it's cleared out yet again. And I mean, at this stage, even I'm afraid that the prophecy will come true, because when it's Durham playing, I think Durham and UEA are 2 teams that when they're playing, you can make bold predictions. And no, Souch. Well, I mean, if Souch scored that, you knew that Southampton were winning the game.
To be worried is the fact that we are now just 2 minutes left on regulation, and assuming Durham do score first, there's really not that much time for Southampton to find a comeback. I mean, they might not need a comeback if Ham goes all the way past the entire team there with the help of a demo. Does get it to the Durham backboard. Off the sideball, it bounces from Kino. He evades the demo and passes it over to Mordisha, who gets the shot away. It ends with the save. Puka getting that skyline in the way, even if it has yet to put the ball in the back of the Durham net this series. It's ferried across from Zouch, popped over Hams nicely so, and he catches it on the wall magnificently as well, beating the first man. Durham mechanically certainly warmed up, but can they actually make the play that matters, and that gets them into the semi-final?
Yeah, and well, maybe it's a 0-0 game 3. That's a very good demo, though. Unfortunately, Mord getting launched in the air for his troubles, but this game's definitely settled down compared to the first 2 that we've seen. Teams are playing a lot safer. They're not really going for any risky plays. And unfortunately, with a minute left, you have to feel like if a goal does go in, they're going to struggle to maybe, finish the game off in overtime. Now, of course, if there is one thing I am known for, it is shaving my mustache when a team was 3 goals up with 21 seconds left. So as long as there's any sort of time on the board, there's always some sort of opportunity to make a kickoff work in your favor, unless it literally is scored on 0, in which the game is over. That's a big dunk, does not come true. Kino, though, this time around, looking to dribble at the length of the pitch. Mord not able to really find that accuracy there. Zouch just hitting it off into the corner. It's getting scrappy again, but this is where Durham strive. In the scrappiness, in the unpredictability-ness, that's even a word. And Burke one-on-one against Souch. Souch stays composed, picks up the boost, looking to go solo like we saw Durham do on Wednesday. The infield pass a little too late. Dead. The prophecy is dead, and now watch Empt score straight away off kickoff now that the prophecy has died.
Is this like the split? We've split the timelines here, and now it's the overtime. The 0-0 overtimes come early. Is that it? It's going to be an 8.5 minute.
8-minute 37.
8-minute 37. You're right. Okay. Right. Well, I'll set an alarm.
No,
never mind. I am alarm. That is a series-winning goal from Kino. Look at the angle on this double tap. Very nice. I mean, fair play to Durham. That is a 3-0 sweep. That was beautiful finish from Kino. That was fantastic. Unfortunately for Adversity Challenge, they fought that series hard and well, but they will be going home with empty pockets, unfortunately. It was a fantastic series. Every single game within 1 goal, right?
Yeah, that was nuts, and I love the way it's like the prophecy just dies, and then Keno just scores an insane double tap goal. As in, like, I'm not gonna lie, I was really hoping it would happen, but as you said, the chances of these things happening are extremely unlikely. But when Durham's in the game, it's always a small little chance. But by Tylacto, just like that's it. We're done.
That is it. Of course, the outcome of the other quarterfinals, we're yet to know finally. Of course, TVZ, we know, will be in the semi-final. They are back through with a bye. I don't know what will happen with the Amsterdam Kiel series, whether it will be played off stream or there will be an administrative decision regarding it. So I do know that we will be back tomorrow, same time, same place, here for the FACEIT Collegiate Rocket League Spring Showdown for the final 3 best of 7s of the tournament, the 2 semi-finals and the grand final. Who will take the cake overall on the $1,200 for first place? You'll have to tune in to find out. I know we've had a great evening casting these series, eJam, and I hope you guys at home have had a great evening watching as well. It's bye for now. We'll see you tomorrow.